The jailer is the key. Kill him, and you'll be free.
These are the words Furi begins with. Words that foreshadow the events that'll play out as you go through the game. Furi also begins with the words gamepad highly recommended. They're not fucking around! Oh, what's that? You beat the game with a mouse and keyboard? Good for you! So did I, but I'm not doing it again on Furier! That's its final difficulty mode, by the way, in case the first was too easy. We don't talk about Promenade. Did you play on Promenade? Did you even for a second consider playing on Promenade? For shame! For shame. For those unaware, Furi is a brutally difficult game, not for the casual of heart. And it's a bloody fantastic one at that. While the crux of the Furi experience is centered around its gameplay, as a game of its nature should, it doesn't skimp out on its other facets. Its art style is a high-contrast, super-saturated treat for the eyes, chiefly filled with hues of purples and violets. Its soundtrack is incredible, with themed background music and a couple extremely memorable tracks, like Danger 753 and My Only Chance. It also happens to come packaged with a sparsely delivered story, with just enough pieces to start putting together before the end. And then it hits you with one of the most brilliant finales I've seen in a game period. But I'll get to that later. Furi's gameplay can be described as a deep pond. It appears small on the surface, but it's actually deep. We're given a simple set of abilities: shoot, slash, parry, and dash. Doesn't sound like much, right? Well, Furi's combat essentially demands three things from you: pattern recognition, reflexive ability, and a metric fuck ton of patience. And they require you to work towards mastering your basic skill set. Between the assortment of range attack patterns like homing spheres, expanding waves, and attack zones, and so on, you'll be building up a repertoire of responses to handle each of them using your basic skill set. The visual and audio design really stand out here, in how they allow you to differentiate between the sheer number of individual attacks that come your way. If you can look at this visual clusterfuck and plan out a safe path in under 2 seconds, while still being capable of identifying incoming melee attacks, then by god the developers have succeeded. Fights go between phases of dodging a barrage of attacks across the arena, and close quarter duels to put your response time and quick judgment to the test. The core game itself is a mesh of a boss brawler and a bullet hell shooter. You're constantly analyzing your opponent's movement patterns, their timing, openings in their attack phases, and essentially developing mental macros that allow you to respond to each attack as though it were instinctual, all while delicately weaving past their numerous projectiles. The bosses themselves are rather colorful characters, quite literally. Let's have a look at them, shall we? The lineup consists of the chain, the strap, the line, the scale, the hand, the song, the burst, the edge, the beat, the flame, and burnout. They each have their own distinct themes, color palette, music, and attack step, and taking on just one of them involves grinding through several attack phases. You play as the stranger, an unknown entity, jailed in a custom prison built solely to keep him in. You don't know what he's done, and at best you get clued in via quotes from your jailers, the aforementioned bosses. The prison itself is an extra-dimensional entity, with multiple stages, each housing a jailer, or as they refer to themselves, guardians. Your escape is aided by a cryptic bunnyman who calls himself The Voice. Cleverly named because he's the guy who does the most talking.
We know that being locked up fucks you up inside.
Who passes along lore about the various guardians as you encounter them. However, as you go on, you gradually become more and more unsure of whether or not you really should leave. Paying attention to the Guardian's words and reading between the lines, you start to notice a common thread. You are someone who does not belong, a being so dangerous it warrants locking you away for eternity, away from the free world. And the Guardians will stop at nothing to maintain that status. As you descend through the prison, you get a clearer picture of the impact the stranger had on some of the Guardians, how twisted some of them have become, how desperate they are to prevent your escape. The story has you mull over one point throughout. It asks you, or rather the stranger, how much is it worth sacrificing? Worth destroying, just to protect what's valuable to you. Past the tight, calculated gameplay, past the visual splendor and adrenaline-fueling audio, this game packs one of the best endings I've seen. I'm not gonna spoil it, I absolutely refuse to talk about it in any detail, because if you're a person capable of playing this game, then you absolutely need to experience firsthand yourself. And if despite that, you decide to just go and watch the ending in a YouTube video, I hope you're fucking proud, you piece of shit. It doesn't pull a Shyamalan on you. It's not some grand reveal about the true nature of mankind or some other monumental revelation. Critics swear by the term show, don't tell when it comes to delivering stories in games. And by god, does this simple ending embody it. If you've made it to the end of this short video, I'd like to let you know that you're a splendid person. Have a great day. Now help me have a great day by leaving a like if you enjoyed! Yeah! And if you want to see more stuff I make, make sure you subscribe. Honestly, because of the new YouTube policy change, reaching 1,000 subs has suddenly become a lot more important. And I'd really appreciate it if you did. Spread the word if you'd like, and feel free to comment your thoughts down below. Peace.